This video is something I knew would happen at some point, and today is the day because I need it personally in my GTD dashboard. And that is breaking up my work area to handle I've got too many projects and I'm overcommitting. So one of the things I had wanted to do was only have one website project at a time. And it ends up that I've got several going on right now, which I don't like to do because it means I can't get them finished when I estimate or promise that they're going to be done. So if you look at my project triage, this is often what I use, sorry, not triage, the timeline. This is what I would use to kind of gauge, like, when can I start on a new website project, when can I get it done, etc. And then also I've got just some normal work projects in here too, so it makes it really hard to estimate and see what's going on. And like I said, I only want to have one work project going on at a time. So I'm going to break this up. I'm going to keep work for kind of normal, it'll be the majority of my things, and then I'm going to create a new one for my website projects. I'm going to show you kind of my brainstorm and thinking about this, and I'll walk you through this as well. Let me pull over my tab over here. So I created a next action kind of to create this video, but really what I was doing was brainstorming how I'm going to organize or set this up. So the first thing I was thinking about is I want to have a name that makes sense. I don't want it to be confusing, and so I'll still have my work is going to be an area because I have projects that are different than the website projects. So I just kind of just brainstormed different names for this new area. So touchdown TD, touchdown projects, work projects, that doesn't work. The reason that came to mind is because I was thinking like bigger projects versus smaller projects. I thought about web projects, websites, new websites, web design, and then I went on and just started thinking about what kind of projects are going to be included in this, because that might actually help me decide what the name should be. So it's definitely going to be new websites, or like a website redesign or relaunch. And what kind of projects are not going to be included in this? That would be like a new PPC campaign, anything recurring, which recurring things wouldn't be projects anyway. I wouldn't include a new landing page. So if someone just needs a new web page added, I wouldn't put this under this kind of project because those don't take as much time. The big thing about a website project that I'm referring to is that it just takes a lot longer. It can take, typically it would take 6 to 8 weeks is kind of typical. All right, so I ended up deciding to go with web design. Now there's a lot more that goes into it than just the design part of it, but that is kind of what people would refer to it as, and what I'm starting to refer to it as. Sure, there's development, there is setting up of messaging for the website, but I decided I'm going to go with web design. And as I was brainstorming, I actually didn't come up with this until I had gone through these here, and then I came back and said, let's just call it web design. And that's probably what I'm going to be referring to this type of service on my website and talking with customers too. So that's it for that. I'm going to move this back out of the way. Another way you could view this, if you have a fixed number of clients, you could, and you might be thinking you want to put them in their own work area. And it can work if you have a few fixed number of clients. You could do that. However, there's a better way to do it, and what I would actually do is set up a database for clients and then use that to create different views that are for that client. So it'd be an additional piece of information either for a next action or for a project, and you could do both. So that is how I would handle that. And if that's of interest, we can create a training to cover that as well. Anyway, so let's go ahead. How we're going to break this up: my work, and then I want to have a web design area as well. The first thing I need to do is go over to my areas and add a new area. So here are my areas. So I'm going to click Add New Page here, and it's going to be Web Design. And when I write these out, I always use sentence case instead of title case, because it's easier to remember, and it just helps with consistency. So whenever you see me writing, it is up to you. You can use title case if you want to. I tend to use sentence case in everything. So basically that means capitalize the first word and any proper nouns. All right. So web design, I don't need anything in here except I want to include an icon. So let's go ahead and choose an icon for that. And I've been using, for consistency, I've been using icons over here. You can actually change the color if you want to, but I've been keeping everything very simple and plain. This is something I did not think about beforehand, is what icon to use, and I might come back later and change it, but you'll see we're going to use this icon in a few different areas, so I would like to get it right the first time. So I'm just going to search for web, so nothing there. My work one is the computer, so I could look for, is there another computer icon that would work? And maybe I'll also do design. So designs like the paint colors. What about code? That actually would maybe work. There's like curly brackets, there's like the general code. I'm gonna look for development as well. So a hammer. Let's go with, I'm just gonna go with the bigger computer, I think. So the laptop is what I use for my normal work icon. So I think I'm just gonna go with the desktop icon for this here. So I know I'm gonna drag it up in this order up here, so it's right up there. This doesn't really have an effect on anything, but anyway. So I'm gonna close that, and I'm gonna go back to my dashboard here, back here. So now I need to create a filter for this view. So I'm just gonna duplicate this view here, the work view, and if we go look at it, we can see what filters are applied. So basically it's anything in the area of work that is either in progress or to do. So if it's complete, it won't show up there. So I'm gonna go and just, I think I can right click and then duplicate, and it's gonna add it all the way to the end here. And now it opened up this editor here. So now I can just go and change this name if I don't want to. But if you lose that, if you happen to click away on it, if you just click on it and then click rename, it'll open up that same setting. So I'm gonna call it web design. I'm gonna change my icon to, that actually has the most recent one, but I could search for it again if I don't want to. So there is that. Now I do need to change my filters. So the filter is no longer area of work. It is now web design, which is the top one that was there, probably because it was most recently edited. I can go back here, and so now we should be good to go. Now nothing's going to show up because I haven't updated any of my projects to be part of this area. I'm going to drag this over here, so it's in that order. So now I just need to go to these projects and change them, and the easiest way to do it, I could go here and click on it and then edit it, but I'm actually just going to go to all and then change it in here. So this is one here. I'm going to change that to web design. This is a web design one. This is a web design, and this also would be considered web design. I think that's all that I see right now, at least the ones that are in progress. Now maybe there's some that are not started yet that would be there too, probably. Here we go, here's one. Web design that didn't have an area at all. Create landing page, that would, that's just a page, so I'm not gonna call that web design. Let's keep going down. I think this here would be, and this here would be. Here's another one. Okay. That, I'm not going to worry about ones in the past because those are already done. I could change them, but it's not really going to affect my work moving forward. So now here I can see my web design projects I've got going on. If I go to work, that's a lot tighter and smaller and easier, going to be easier to manage now. And I could even create a view that has like all work. and that would combine these things together, and that may be something you want to do. I think it's fairly self-explanatory how you would do that. If you right-click and click Edit View, that actually opens up the exact same thing. So rename, and if you click Edit View, opens up the same panel here. And basically all I would do is go to Filters, and I would just select multiple areas if I'd want to do all work in that. So that's it. Fairly simple. It's actually really simple. So hope that makes sense. And if there's any questions, please drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. And if you want to be part of the community, you can join as well. There's a link at the end of this video where you can join the community and ask questions and get even more training.